Colombia, the colors, the coffee, the cost of living. It's no wonder so many Americans and Canadians are making the move. But here's the thing most expats don't talk about until it's too late: taxes. Yeah, just because you're living the dream here doesn't mean your home country or Colombia has forgotten about you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through what Americans and Canadians living in Colombia need to know. The residency rules, what taxes you'll face here, what you still owe back home, and how to avoid getting taxed twice. Because the only thing worse than paying taxes is paying them twice. Colombia's got a lot going for it. Low cost of living, great weather, world-class coffee, and a healthcare system that doesn't require selling a kidney to afford it. But if you plan on living here, there's one number you need to remember: 183. Spend more than 183 days in Colombia within a 365-day period, and you're considered a tax resident. That means Colombia taxes you on your worldwide income. Whether it's from a local job, a US or Canadian employer, your Airbnbs back home, or your crypto gains. For residents, they tax worldwide income. For non-residents, they only tax Colombian sourced income. And before you get excited about staying just under 183 days, remember, both the US and Canada might still want a slice of your pie. Americans, you always file no matter where you live. Canadians, well, it depends on whether the CRA considers you a resident, which is all about your residential ties. By the way, I'm not your attorney, accountant, or a tax wizard. I'm just a guy on YouTube with a camera and a love for coffee. So don't take this video as legal or tax advice. Talk to a real professional who can look at your situation and say, yep, you're good, instead of surprise, you owe $5,000. So here's the big picture. Colombia has its own tax rules. Your home country has theirs, and if you're not careful, you could end up dealing with both at the same time. The rest of this video is all about making sure that doesn't happen. All right, let's break down the Colombian side of this first, because if you're here long enough, DIAN, Colombia's tax authority, will want to know about it. If you're a resident, Colombia uses progressive rates, starting around 19% and topping out at 39% for higher incomes. If you're a non-resident, forget the brackets. You get a flat 35% on anything earned here. The tax year is January 1 to December 31. Filing deadlines aren't one size fits all. They're based on your NIT or tax ID number and income level. They change every year, so you have to check the DIAN calendar or ask your accountant. And if you miss your filing deadline, it's a 5% per month of what you owe, up to 100%. Get a summons before you file, that jumps to 10% per month, up to 200%. Interest starts the moment you're late. So yeah, paying late in Colombia is kind of like buying an airline ticket the day before you fly. It gets expensive fast. One more thing, if you work for a Colombian employer and that's your only income, taxes might already be withheld from your paycheck, which could mean you don't have to file at all. But if you're self-employed, have side income, or earn from abroad, you're filing. Bottom line, figure out your residency status. Know your deadlines and don't assume DIAN's going to forget about you. They won't. Income tax isn't the only way Colombia lightens your wallet. There are a few other taxes that can sneak up on you if you're not ready. First up is VAT tax. 19% on most goods and services. Some items like certain foods or tourism packages are 5% or exempt. And these are already included in the prices, so whatever the price you see, that's the price you pay. Then you have capital gains tax. It's 10% standard, 20% for lottery or gambling wins. Then there's property tax, paid to your local municipality, usually anywhere from 0.4% to 1.2% of property value each year. Then you have financial transactions tax, which is 0.4% every time you withdraw cash, send a wire, or even move money between accounts. Then you have Social Security contributions. If you're employed here, the total is 30.5%, which is 20.5% paid by the employer, 10% by the employee. Canada has a Social Security agreement with Colombia, which may count towards CPP. US does not, meaning you could pay into both systems. So yeah, in Colombia, it's not just about what you earn, it's also about what you spend, what you own, and sometimes even what you withdraw from an ATM. The point here isn't to scare you, it's just to make sure you're budgeting for the whole picture, not just the income tax bill. All right, my fellow Americans, here's the hard truth. Moving to Colombia doesn't end your relationship with the IRS. You still have to file a US tax return every single year no matter where you live. So for the essentials, you'll need Form 1040 to report your worldwide income, always. Then you'll need Form 2555 for foreign earned income exclusion, the FEIE, and that can exclude up to $130,000 for the year 2025 of your earned income if you meet the physical presence or bona fide residency test. Then there's Form 1116, which is a foreign tax credit, which is basically credit for taxes paid to Colombia, often the better option if you owe here. Then there's the FBAR or FinCEN 114. If you have $10,000 or more in foreign accounts, combined even, you must file this. Then there's Form 8938, FATCA, for foreign assets above certain thresholds. Now here's the kicker. There's no U.S.-Colombia tax treaty and no totalization agreement. That means no automatic way to avoid double taxation and no Social Security coordination. So if you're self-employed, you could be paying into both systems. Think of it this way. The IRS doesn't care if you're paying Colombia taxes. They still want to hear from you even if your bill ends up being zero. All right, Canadian friends, your situation's a little trickier because whether you owe Canada taxes depends on something called residential ties. So here's the residency rules in a nutshell. If you're a resident or deemed a resident, Canada taxes your worldwide income. If you're not a resident, you're only taxed on Canadian source income like rentals, pensions, or investments. CRA looks at residential ties, home, spouse, or kids in Canada, bank accounts, driver's license, provincial health coverage. You can file Form NR73 to confirm your non-resident status. It's optional, but helpful if your ties are fuzzy. Even as a non-resident, you may still owe tax on Canadian source income. This usually comes as a withholding tax, often 15 to 25%, on things like rental income, pensions, or RRSP withdrawals. Now the good news, Canada does have a tax treaty with Colombia. This helps avoid double taxation and lets you use foreign tax credits for what you pay here. And yes, you still have to tell the CRA about foreign assets over 100,000 Canadian dollars with Form T1135. So if you own a Medellin apartment or keep a fat Colombian bank account, they want to know. Bottom line, figure out your residency status early, use the treaty to your advantage, and file the right forms so you're not paying twice or paying penalties. All right, here's the fun part. A few simple moves can save you a ton of stress and maybe a ton of money. Tip number 1, track your days in Colombia. Cross 183 days, you're a tax resident here. Stay under, you might avoid Colombian tax on worldwide income. Use an app or calendar to keep track. Seriously. Tip number 2, use tax credits and treaties. Americans, use the FEIE or foreign tax credit. Pick the one that saves more. Canadians, use the Canada-Colombia Treaty to avoid double taxation. Tip number 3, structure your income wisely. Separate personal and business accounts. For self-employment or business, choose the right structure for both countries. Know how Colombia classifies different income types. Tip number 4, keep perfect records. Income, expenses, asset values in both currencies. Back up everything in the cloud. Tip number 5, hire pros who understand both systems. A Colombian Contador Publico for local filing, a US or Canadian tax pro for home country filings. Bonus points if they talk to each other. One good accountant is worth their weight in coffee beans. 2 who talk to each other, worth their weight in gold. Before we wrap up, let's kill a few myths I hear all the time from expats in Colombia. Myth number 1, I don't make money here, so I don't owe Colombian taxes. The truth, if you're a tax resident, Colombia can tax your worldwide income even if it's earned abroad. Myth number 2, I only need to file in my home country. Well, the truth is you may need to file in both Colombia and home, depending on residency and income sources. Myth number 3, nobody's going to check. Well, the truth to that is Colombia, the US, and Canada share more financial data than ever. Banks, immigration, and tax offices talk. Myth number 4, I'll deal with it later. The truth, late penalties here can hit 200% of your tax debt, and the interest clock starts instantly. Colombia is great for a lot of things, but forgiving tax deadlines isn't one of them. So who actually needs to pay attention to all this? Pretty much anyone living here more than a few months. Remote workers and digital nomads, earning online but living here long enough to trigger residency rules. Retirees, pensions and Social Security, CPP may or may not be taxed here, but you still might need to file. Business owners and investors, running a business here or renting property, you're in DN's system. Long-term travelers, pass 183 days without realizing it, surprise, you're now a tax resident. If you're looking for ways to hide income or skip filing altogether, together, Colombia is probably not your tax paradise. But if you want to live here legally, keep your finances clean, and sleep well at night, this is for you. Living in Colombia can be incredible. Lower cost of living, great weather, and a lifestyle most people only dream about. But if you don't understand the tax rules here and back home, it can also turn into, well, a very expensive surprise. Figure out your residency status, know when and where you have to file, and use tax credits and treaties to avoid paying twice. And please talk to a real tax pro before you make big decisions. I've put together a free expat tax checklist just for Americans and Canadians living in Colombia. You can get it when you sign up for The Passport, our free newsletter and monthly digital magazine for expats, nomads, and global entrepreneurs. Every issue is packed with visa tips, tax insights, destination guides, and ways to make your life abroad easier and cheaper. Grab your checklist and subscribe to The Passport using the link below. And while you're here, hit like, subscribe to the Americano for more practical advice on living abroad, and drop your questions in the comments. I do read them and I answer them, because the only thing better than living abroad is living abroad tax smart. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.